Gary Anthony Ramsey with your Our News Now Rewind. Stories making headlines for the week ending February 5th, 2011. Our top stories include: the United States government and the world watch the crisis in Egypt as it continues to unfold. The health care repeal vote fails in the Senate. A second federal judge declares the health care law unconstitutional. A king could soon own the gem of Queens, New York. Sudanese residents vote to split the country in half. And Halle Berry puts acting on hold to fight for the custody of her daughter. Our top story. The tension in Egypt continues to get the attention of the world as people on the streets of Cairo rail against longtime U.S. ally Hosni Mubarak. The political fate of the 82-year-old leader is still unclear. Even after Mr. Mubarak promised reforms and new elections in which he would not run, the protests demanding that he leave intensified. After speaking with Mr. Mubarak, Barack Obama said that any transition should take place immediately.
Furthermore, the process must include a broad spectrum of Egyptian voices and opposition parties. It should lead to elections that are free and fair. To the people of Egypt, particularly the young people of Egypt, I want to be clear. We hear your voices. I have an unyielding belief that you will determine your own destiny and seize the promise of a better future for your children and your grandchildren.
Many are concerned about the person or persons who would take control of Egypt should Hosni Mubarak leave now. The fundamentalist group known as the Muslim Brotherhood has been one of the leading voices of opposition against the current government. Well, the health care debate may have not been center stage in the last week, but it certainly was not in the back seat. A second federal judge has ruled that the law is unconstitutional, and a vote to repeal the law in the Senate fails. The vote of 51 to 47 against repeal was strictly along party lines. Some Republicans have admitted the vote was strictly to put Democrats on the record about health care for the 2012 elections. The measure took another step toward a date with the Supreme Court as a Florida judge rules a portion of the measure unconstitutional. In his ruling in a case of 26 states that are suing the federal government, U.S. District Judge Roger Vinson ruled the law's provision that required individuals to buy health insurance makes the whole law unconstitutional. 4 judges in all have ruled on the law. 2 found it constitutional, 2 said it is not. The administration has yet to sign a waiver that would fast-track the cases to the Supreme Court. Well, the Dow Jones hits the 12,000 mark for the first time since 2008. But overall, it is still mixed news for the economy. Uncertainty about Egypt did little to sway investors as stocks drifted, but kept the Dow overall numbers intact on Wall Street. But on Main Street, jobs are still hard to come by. Only 36,000 new jobs were added to the U.S. economy in January. While unemployment has dropped to 9%, experts say that's due in part to people giving up on the job market altogether. Some good news, as the private sector's contribution to new jobs is up by an average of 25,000. Well, a month after most of the nation celebrated the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., now comes word that one of his sons is hoping to own a piece of the national pastime. Last week, the New York Mets announced that they would put up 25% of the team for sale for about $250 million. Martin Luther King III is reportedly part of a group that wants up to 50% of the team. That's apparently more than the team's owners are willing to part with, but if the deal goes through, King would be the first African-American owner of a major league mainstream baseball team. The Mets are trying to raise cash to compensate for a lawsuit brought by victims of the Bernie Madoff swindle. The Mets are accused of enabling Madoff in the bilking of billions of dollars from people for investments that did not exist. Well, new data released by the Census Department indicates that racial minorities in the U.S. are moving faster towards becoming the collective majority. Those groups led by Hispanics accounted for 85% of the population growth in the U.S. over the last 10 years. With census numbers affecting congressional districts, some states may consider making citizenship a factor in drawing congressional lines. Whites still make up 65% of the U.S. population. That's down from 69% in 2000. Hispanics make up 13%, blacks 12%, and Asians 5%. In your Our News Now World Wrap, news from one of Egypt's neighbors, Yemen, as the president of that country announces that he too will not run in the next election. President Ali Abdullah Saleh said that he would not stand in the way of new leadership in the Arabic country. Like Tunisia and Egypt, Yemen has been the site of massive protests by people on the street. Ali has vowed to not try and position his son to take power as well when his term expires next year. In the Sudan, the people there have spoken as well, but this time at the ballot box. Counting from a referendum that took place there last month indicates that soon there will be a new African nation. Nearly 99% of 3 million votes cast in January were in favor of secession. The referendum was set up as part of a 2005 deal that ended decades of civil war in the Sudan. The north is ruled by light-skinned Arabic Muslims. The south is primarily occupied by dark-skinned Christian and tribal Africans. In Haiti, a change in the vote count there has cleared the way for a long-awaited runoff election that could finally decide who will lead the disaster-stricken country. Haiti's Electoral Council has bounced government-backed candidate Jude Celestine. That move makes for a two-person runoff between former First Lady Mirlande Manigat and carnival singer Michel Martelly, known as Sweet Mickey. The November election was marred by widespread claims of fraud. The runoff will take place next month, 6 months after the original election. That's your World Wrap. In entertainment news, singer Chris Brown completes a domestic violence program and now apparently wants to be allowed to get a little closer to the ex-girlfriend that he beat. His publicist says it's not for romantic purposes, as Brown wants a temporary restraining order lifted. The TRO keeps him from getting within 100 yards of singer Rihanna. The request comes as the Grammys approach, in which he's nominated for several awards and Rihanna is expected to appear. It was at the Grammys 2 years ago when Brown admitted that he beat his former girlfriend during a heated argument. Actress Halle Berry drops out of a film project as the battle with her baby's daddy heats up. Ex-boyfriend Gabriel Aubry filed papers requesting full custody of their 2-year-old daughter Nala. The Oscar award-winning actress and the model were together for about 5 years before their split late last year. For a complete look at any of the stories you've seen on The Rewind, remember as always, go to the bottom of the webpage, find the link of the story you'd like to see, and click your way through. That's your Hour News Now Rewind for this week. I'm Gary Anthony Ramsey.